Okay, cohort 13, Miss H here. I want to talk to you a little bit about the probe. I want you to see what, just a little bit of a demo on that so that you can begin to wrap your heads around this a little bit. We're going to be talking about this tomorrow on the 15th, about the probe a little bit, all right? So, remember that the probe is an instrument of assessment. The periodontal probe is an instrument of assessment in that it determines where we're going when we're scaling. It helps us determine the health of the periodontium. And the probe, as you notice, is the one that we use particularly. There's all kinds of different kinds of probes out there. There's some that are color-coded and everything. But our particular probe in your kit is what is known as the UNC-12, okay? And I think I'm not sure, I think it was designed at the University of North Carolina, but I could be mistaken. But anyway, so the best analogy for a probe is that it's like a ruler because it's a measurement. It's a tool. It's an instrument for measuring, okay? And this particular one, this UNC, is the one that the Reb exam likes to use. Their examiners when they examine your results, and also the credit examiners use it. It's standardized in their kits, and so that's what the examiners are calibrated to work with. And so it's just natural for us to, from the very beginning, to show you how to use this probe, so you'll be very skilled at using it and not be thrown any surprises when you learn to use something for 2 years and then you take your board and you have to be tested on something else. So anyway, in all fairness to you, this is probably one of the most widely used probes also. So if you look at it closely, it's got 12 increments. Sorry, let me backtrack. It is in 1 millimeter increments. So you have to look at it very closely, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom of that black is where 4 is. And then if it goes over the black, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there's 12 millimeters of depth that this can actually measure. So aside from measuring a, let's say, a periodontal probe or a pocket or a healthy sulcus, let's say, for example, on this sheet of paper, I'm drawing something that could be a lesion, okay, in somebody's mouth. So the probe is also oftentimes used to measure sizes of lesions. So in this case, we would take the probe and we would hold it this way, and we would say that that's like 4 millimeters by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8 millimeters. Okay, so about 8 millimeters in length is this one, and that's how you would put down 4 by 8 millimeter, approximately. And we'll be talking about that as we get into lesion description and things that we look at when we do oral exams, more specifics. So the probe. So I'm going to take one individual tooth. Okay, I'm going to go with number 30 because that's closest to me. And so what I'm going to be doing is the probe. Very important that you understand that when you're probing, you have to be very, very light when holding it, because if you put an undue amount of pressure as you go down into the sulcus, you could puncture the junctional epithelium. And remember, the probe measurement that you want to get on every tooth is the marginal gingiva and then where it attaches to the junctional epithelium, okay? So in a healthy gingiva sulcus, you're going to get anywhere from 1 to 3 millimeters, okay? Sometimes in disease sulcular pockets, you're going to be getting anywhere from 5, 6, 7. You could go all the way down to, 10 and 11. And of course, that's almost impossible to get something like that clean and thoroughly free of biofilm and debris. But anyway, that's what we're trying to do. All right, so there's 6 measurements on each tooth, all right? And if you look and we'll be talking about that, it's in your textbook. If you look at your tooth, when you do the perio probe, like on the Dentrix chart, you'll see that there are 6 measurements. There are 6 spaces. So each tooth is going to have 6 different numbers. All right. So we're going to start with the distal buccal. And that's always our get ready zone. So on the molar, we're going to start here at the line angle. And we're going to take that very gently. And I'm holding it in the modified pin grasp. And I'm going to be doing like a walking stroke. So once I get into the sulcus, I stay in the sulcus. I don't come out. I just stay in. And I'm going to go in here. And I want to walk that towards the distal. And now I've got to get between or underneath the contact, which is the contact between 31 and 30, okay? Because I can't stand it straight up when I'm in here, so I've got to give it a tilt. Now, too much tilt is going to give us an incorrect reading. Not enough tilt is going to give us an incorrect reading. So, again, based on your ability to get underneath that contact into this little area right underneath here where the coal is. The coal is that little indentation that's between the inner dental papilla. By not getting right there where the coal is and getting that contact, you can get an incorrect reading, okay? So you're usually going to get a deeper reading, even in healthy gingiva, on mesials and distals, okay? Just because that's just the nature of the way that there's a coal here, there's a contact area, and the tissue is just designed to conform and adapt to the tooth in that direction. So we're just going to go around here, starting at the distal buccal, go in here to the distal, take one reading, so that's one reading from here to here, and then we're going to pull out, and we're going to go back into that distal buccal, and we're going to go straight on the straight buccal, walk it, 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 and you're going to get the deepest reading. Now, sometimes this floor of the sulcus, or or this connection down here is not always even. You can go, like a 2, 2, 2, 2, and then get to a 4, and then come back up and be 2, 2, 2. So you always document the deepest number that you get from here to here. And then when I go back over here to the mesial, I'm going to stop here, and then I'm just going to keep going and walking into the mesial and give it that tilt. That's 3 readings. That's one reading from here to here, one reading from here to here, and one reading from here to here. And then typically what happens in the way that our Dentrix is connected also is that if you start here, it's going to take you this way, this way, this way, and you go all the way around and then come back around this way. I think Dentrix automatically has you flow it in that way. It's just a little bit easier and more time efficient for you to do it that way. As far as the lingual on that same tooth, you would do the same thing. You would start at the distal lingual, okay? Distal lingual line angle, and you're going into the sulcus, and you stay in the sulcus. You don't want to be going in and out because that over manipulates the tissue. Go into the sulcus and walk it all the way to the distal and give it a tilt. Pull out, go to the distal lingual, line angle, and come around again, straight lingual, right here, right here, right here. That's one reading. And now from this point until the mesial, that's another reading. And there you go, 6 readings on each tooth. Okay? The same goes for the anteriors. Let's say on the central right here, inner right here, like the line angle. That's one reading. That's one reading. That's one reading. Inner here. That's one reading. That's one reading. And that's one reading. Okay? All right. So we'll practice on this a little bit more. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Try to look at it before tomorrow. And I'll see you in the morning.